but she has to disguise herself as a maid robot, all because her master has a strange hobby. As the young master of the country's top conglomerate family, Arthur has experienced all kinds of assassination attempts since he was a child. This has made him stop trusting humans. He only likes inorganic things that can't lie. So to take care of his daily needs, the butler picked Mary out of tens of thousands of candidates, because no matter what happens, her expression never changes. Plus, she's a genius martial artist, so she's perfect for playing the role of a robot. And since the pay is way too generous, Mary happily agrees. Soon, she appears before Arthur as the latest model robot. But just as Arthur is about to verify whether it's real, the alarm clock in the room suddenly explodes. Probably another bomb planted by an assassin. Arthur is used to this by now, but what surprises him is that Mary's expression doesn't change at all. Seems like she really is a genuine robot. But just to be safe, Arthur sternly states, he hates being deceived more than anything in life. If he ever finds out someone lied to him, he'll use all his power to make that person disappear. But even with this threat, Mary still shows no reaction, so he asks the butler to leave. He decides to spend some time alone with Mary first. This makes Mary's heart race. She's confident in her disguise. But being inspected up close is a whole different story. But the next second, Arthur suddenly changes his appearance. This sudden shift throws Mary off balance. Arthur is amazed that even Mary's voice sounds so much like a real human girl. This robot maid is absolutely perfect. At this point, Mary finally earns Arthur's complete trust. While Arthur takes a shower, Mary quickly refuels with food, because Arthur needs to go to school later, and she has to accompany him as protection. When they sit in the car, Arthur's tone turns cold whenever he talks about outsiders. But whenever he mentions Mary, his attitude becomes incredibly gentle. Once at school, Arthur goes to a student council meeting. Mary waits outside the door, but two guys suddenly bump into her. Even though it's not her fault, Mary apologizes first. But because her face is expressionless when she speaks, they blame her for insincerity. But before Mary can say anything, Arthur walks up from behind. With just a few casual words, he scares both of them away. Then he gently strokes Mary's head and tells her that even her expressionless face is cute. So he heard everything. This is the first time anyone has ever said something like that to Mary. It makes her feel incredibly warm. When they get home, Arthur's stepbrother Brother Maynard comes to visit. The two chat and laugh on the surface, but they're both sizing each other up beneath it. Because if Arthur disappears, Maynard becomes the next family heir. So Maynard has secretly arranged many assassination attempts against Arthur. But seeing Arthur completely unharmed, he can only leave in frustration. At night, Arthur stands by the window thinking about what's coming next. As the heir of a conglomerate family, the pressure on him is immense. Mary walks over, so he makes a request. Mary freezes for 2.5 seconds, but she soon agrees. Arthur notices her thigh feels a bit hard. He assumes it's because Mary is made of metal, which actually puts him at ease. Soon, he falls into a deep sleep. The next afternoon, Arthur has to attend a speech. Today's driver arrives unusually early, but Arthur doesn't think much of it. However, shortly after the car drives off, an identical car pulls up. This is the real pickup car. The butler immediately realizes something was wrong with that first car. Meanwhile, Arthur is already tied up. Sitting beside him is Maynard. After their unpleasant conversation yesterday, his patience has run out, so he decides to send Arthur off himself. But just then, a noise comes from the roof of the car. Mary has caught up.